Hi, my name's Tom, and I'm going to show you a website I've been working on called Sparkling Fill. Sparkling Fill is a website you can use to build your own crossword puzzles. In the main editor window here, you'll see three tabs. One is for editing the layout, one for editing the words, and one for editing the clues. In the layout editor, you can choose the size you would like for your puzzle, as well as either a blank or predefined layout. Let's look at a predefined layout. Once you have a predefined layout selected, you can begin to blacken or uncheck squares so that they're cleared. You can see on the right hand side here there's various symmetry types that you can use for your crossword puzzle, including a normal symmetry, which enforces a top left to bottom right style symmetry, as you can see on the left here. Also top to bottom, left to right, or you can have no symmetry at all. In this case, we've also selected that this crossword puzzle will automatically renumber as we select, and the word count will change as well. To illustrate the word editor, I'm going to open an existing crossword. So if I click on the top here, you can see you have several options. One is to create a new crossword. One is to select one of your existing crosswords, and then there's also some ability to change settings and view your account information here. So I'm going to look at a list of my crosswords. There's 3 crosswords listed here. I'm going to select the top one, which I've set up for this video. And when I open the demo video, you can see it'll put me in the layout editor here. I already have the layout that I want to use for this, so I'm going to go over to the word editor. The word editor is going to provide 3 main ways to enter words into the crossword puzzle. The first approach, as simple as enough, is just to type in the word that you would like. That option, of course, is always available to you. The second option that I'd like to show is the ability to use this button below to complete a word. So in this case, I've selected 47 down, which starts with an A and has an O in the 4th position. If I click complete word, I'll be presented with a list of words that would fit into the space. I can go ahead and scroll through these words and see all the various options, or I can just pick a word and have it inserted. In this case, I want to use the word across. So I'm going to select that here, and you can see it inserted here on the left. If I then wanted to check one of the other squares here, I'm going to pick 63 across, and if I do complete word here, I'll see a different set of options that I can use to fill in the across word. So if I select, say, tested, it'll fill that word in there as well. And I can play with different options by clicking through the various words. If I select this or Arnold, you can see it updating in real time as I choose different words. But I'm going to leave it with across for now. The last method, and probably most important method for inserting words into the crossword, is spelled out in this bottom comment here. So click selects a word, or you can use a shift click or a control click, that's a command click on Mac, to select a subgrid. So if we look at this top section, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and click here, and I've selected this 12 square grid. And now the buttons below have changed. I can either get 1 completion for that area, or if I click complete grid, it will give me up to 8 options. So I'm going to click complete grid. You can see the section is identified in this drop down here, and along the left the various grids that would potentially complete that area. In this case, we see a grid that has rock, aloe, rap, ole. So if we look at the right, those words are all listed here, and then the ranking for those words is listed on this side as well. So still working on building out the word list, but hopefully some of the better, more common words have higher rankings, and some of the words that maybe aren't as widely used have lower rankings. So if I want to, at this point, I can click on what I've just the grid completion that I've just gotten, and that'll fill that back into the space here. Now, while that's useful, it may or may not prove to be a good fit for whatever words are larger than the grid you've selected. So in this case, we got a completion suggested of Ken, but it was ignoring these bottom 3 squares starting with R below. So let's actually go ahead and remove what we just selected and look at maybe what's a more beneficial way to do that. So as it says below, you can also use a control click or a command on Mac. So selecting this top square, and now I'm going to hold the control key and select here, Sparkling Fill will make the effort to select a wider range. So it'll take the grid that you've selected, but it will extend that into the words that surround it. And if we click complete grid now, what you'll see is actually the full words completed. So in this case, it filled wrap here and rich, and it used aloe again, but it only was going to use words on this last column that fit into this 6-letter space, not just the 3-letter space that we saw before. So if we scroll through these, we can look for an option that makes sense for us or one that we might want to use. So let's say we want to use this one that has Zach and aloe and zap. If I click that and scroll back to the top, you'll see that it's inserted here. Same thing as we move through other sections of the puzzle. If I went into this top middle section and did the same, you would in a similar fashion see a variety of ways that you could possibly complete that section. So in this case you have or else, Ronald, Edna, etc. As you scroll down you see different options, this one beginning with aromas, this one beginning with Aragon. So I can just pick one to insert, and as I do, it'll fill that space. The last piece of the puzzle here is the clue editor. If I flip over to the clue editor, I can pick a word, and in this case I'm picking the word across, and it'll highlight this box here where I can start to type in what clue I want to use for that word. So if I type something like not down, you can actually, and we scroll down to where in the down clues this is located, it'll be filled in below. Similarly, if I pick one here and I type tried, so I could say made an effort, and you'll see the clues start to fill in here as well. So I could, in this fashion, I could go through my entire puzzle and add clues for that puzzle. In the top right, you'll always see this button for saving the puzzle. So if I click save here, you should get a message down below that this was successfully saved. If I wanted to go back in here, I could always create a new crossword puzzle. In my settings, if you're not happy with the default sparkling fill word list, you can always upload a new word list of your own. So you could come in here, enter a word list name, and then choose that file. There's some instructions below. It does take a little bit of time, but go grab a cup of coffee, and by the time you come up, your custom word list will be available. And then there's some information about the account, how to get help, and the ability to sign out of your account. Last thing I will show is this feedback section. So I definitely appreciate any feedback anyone can offer. There's also a site here that you can go vote on features, but you can always email me at thomas@sparklingfill.com for any suggestions or feedback that you have. I'll click here to show you this last place. And here is a set of features that we would like to get incorporated into Sparkling Fill. You can add your own suggestions, or you can vote on these existing features, and that'll help drive the things that I work on next. I hope everyone enjoyed the demo. Please go out to sparklingfill.com and take a look and let me know what you think. Thanks.